Jack? I have had enough of you fooling around out here. Stop trying to act like it's a good thing to be single at your age and find a woman you can actually stay married to. And once you find that woman, you make her bring me a grandbaby. If you could just try a little harder to find someone, you could become a very good husband and father, right? All you are right now is a complete embarrassment to me.
I think asking Jasmine to bring you that grandbaby would be a lot more effective, Mom. And those two already took fertility tests and the results came back saying that they are both good to go.
I understand that, but that has nothing to do with you. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that it's embarrassing to have my oldest son grow up single and with no kids.
But Mom, I already told you I don't plan on getting married anymore.
Huh? You're going on about that again? Then what's going to happen to me getting my grandbaby?
And that's why I said, you won't be getting a grandbaby from me, okay? I've been to the doctor about it already and they said it's better for me to just look past wanting kids based on the very low chance I have of getting someone pregnant. They even tried bringing up adoption as an option, but you budged in, saying that it was the wife's fault for not bringing in any kids. And you still wonder why she left me after all that crap you gave her, for something that's not anyone's fault but my own. Why is it so hard for you to accept the truth, Mom? You literally do anything but accept the truth, and that includes hurting those who aren't even at fault. If I had to give you a reason why I'm not married now and never will be again, I'd say it has to do with you always getting in the way.
You're going on about that again as well?
If you don't want to hear about it again, then stop making me bring it up. The fact that you always come to me about not having any kids and not having anyone to love is why I always go back and bring up the reasons why. It's driving me nuts.
Well, listen, Jack. You don't have to cover for that ex of yours being infertile anymore, because you've already divorced her and she means nothing to us anymore, right?
Jesus Christ, Mom! I'm not lying about it to protect her. I'm being serious when I say that I'm the one that's infertile. I even showed you the test results from the clinic, right?
Well, anyway, I'm not going to allow you to stay single. The only way you're going to continue staying a man in my family is by getting yourself another wife and making some kids with her. That's what all men need to do, and you're no exception.
Please stop with all this, Mom. At this point, you continue to go in circles about this. It's just wasting everyone's time.
Jack!
I have an early morning tomorrow, so good night.
I've had enough sitting here waiting. You must be planning to surprise me with something, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that penthouse you have. You must have bought that recently, right?
Huh?
When I went into your apartment earlier, I saw the papers on that place lying on your computer.
You've gone and created yet another duplicate key to my place without my permission? Are you still not able to get it into your head that it's because of crap like you that you've caused my last relationship to flounder and forced me to divorce my wife? I can't believe you right now, Mom.
Well, you're my son, and I think I have the right to have access to your apartment. So when are you going to be able to introduce me to that new wife of yours?
Seriously?
The penthouse I saw in those papers lying in your apartment showed that it has 3 bedrooms and a very spacious kitchen, so there must be a good reason for you buying it, right? What kind of woman is the girl you're with right now? Is she the kind of woman that can actually get pregnant and birth some children?
It was after you bought that penthouse that you made my relationship with my ex-wife impossible and I had to divorce her.
Huh?
It's been over a year now since I bought that penthouse. After the divorce, I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, and I still have work and that to deal with as well, so I haven't had time to move into the place or anything yet.
Huh? What the? Can you stop trying to upset me right now? But if that's really the case with you, that penthouse doesn't belong to someone who's single and has no plan to have a family, right?
Huh?
Well, listen, your sister has gotten pregnant.
Oh, is that so? Tomorrow I'll send her a text telling her congrats.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I want you to give that penthouse to your sister and her husband.
What?
Right now, your sister is living in a small apartment with her husband that only has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom in it. Right now, the place is decent for those two, but the moment they have their first baby, they're going to need more space to work with. You can understand that, right?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Then please give that place to your sister.
Stop being ridiculous, Mom. I'm planning to move into that place real soon, and starting this week I plan to get my things packed up and ready to go.
Having a place as big as that all to yourself is far too greedy.
Why is that greedy? Also, this place wasn't even gonna be mine in the first place after the divorce, but I was able to get it after much talk with my ex about how much I planned on using it. You have no right telling me to give it away after you almost made me lose it once already.
You are far too old now to be saying such selfish garbage.
How am I being selfish right now?
Are we finished here, Jack? I'm tired of having to fight you all the time on stuff like this. That place is too big for you and would be perfect for your sister, her husband, and her soon-to-be-born baby. And me. Having a place that open for the 4 of us to live in would be perfect.
Hold on a minute. It seems to me like the conditions have changed, and you just made it look as though you plan to live with them in the penthouse.
And what's wrong with me wanting that?
Have you ever even spoken with either of them yet about your plan?
There's no reason for me to talk with them about it now.
Well, if they need a house that's bigger than the apartment they're in, then the normal thing to do would be to move into a bigger place, or have a new place built for their needs, right? And I believe that both of us have heard already from her husband that he plans on having a place of his own built for the family, instead of moving into an already built home, right? Even if I did want to give them my penthouse, they probably don't need it.
I've had enough of this talk. Just give them the dang penthouse. If you continue to keep saying no to what your own mother is asking you, then I'll have to disown you.
Really?
But if you give them that place, then we can all go on with our lives again as normal. You don't want me cutting ties to you, right?
Actually, I don't care if you do or don't.
Right? You know just as well as I do that we don't want that.
Huh? Wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. You can stop trying to talk your way out of all this now. I am looking forward to moving into that place and having so much room to work with while raising my grandbaby.
That's not what I meant.
Well, since that's what's going to happen soon, I need to start preparing my things as well to move into that place.
Go and do what you'd like, Mom. But don't come back to me when things aren't what they seemed.
Jack! Why are you living in this penthouse right now? You were supposed to have given your sister this place so that her family and I could live here without you.
How do you know about me moving out of my old apartment?
I went to your previous apartment to come see it, and the man living next door to your place told me that you moved out. And when he said that to me, I went right to the building that the penthouse is located in, and I can see that you're in there right now. But when I ran after you as you opened the door, you slammed it in my face before I could come inside.
Well, luckily there's a really fast auto lock on the door that kicked in right before you turned the handle. And if you don't have the key to that lock, you can't get in.
Well, then hand that key over to me right now, Jack. I went to your apartment today looking for that key after all, so now that I've had to run all the way here after you moved in without letting me know, I'm getting that key.
So you went into that apartment again without my permission, huh? Thank God I moved out of there before you started to have one of these fits again.
You don't have any plans to get married again, right?
That's right. All I'm thinking about now is living as a bachelor for the rest of my life.
Then hurry up and get the hell out of there. That penthouse is far too good for some half-cooked man like you who doesn't plan to have a wife or kids.
Well, I'm planning on making this place into my office and this studio as well.
Huh? Making it into an office?
For a long time now, I've been doing this sort of work as a sort of side hustle, and now I'm thinking of focusing on it full time. And as of right now, I've been working with a friend of mine on merging our businesses and making a larger company.
And so what? That sort of stuff has nothing to do with that penthouse.
Well, that friend that I'm working with had plans to get married next year, and then move into a place close to his penthouse. But right now his partner is overseas for work, and he's all alone over here. So the plan is to have him stay in this penthouse with me for the next year until his woman returns and they get married.
What the heck? Why did you make all of those plans without me?
Because this is my penthouse, and since it's mine, I can do what I want with it.
But I told you that if you don't want to be disowned, you have to give that place over to your sister so that her family can move into there. You can look back in our texts and see exactly what I told you. I said for you to give the penthouse to her, and that you don't want me cutting ties with you, right? And you replied by saying you don't care if I do or don't.
Yeah, and that meant that I don't care what you do about your relationship with me. In other words, go ahead and disown me.
Huh?
You can go back into our messages and see what I told you. You're mistaking what I said, and that it wasn't what you thought it meant, right?
What? You're kidding, right?
I wanted to make things more clear for you, but you wouldn't stop talking, and told me to stop talking about it anytime I try to speak, so I gave up on it. And honestly, I'm totally okay with you cutting your ties to me, and that's why I stopped caring about you having a misunderstanding about what I said.
What the heck? Then what should I do now?
Go back to your own house and stay quiet from now on?
But I already moved ahead and sold my place.
Is that right?
What the hell is up with you acting like that's got nothing to do with you?
Well, you're cutting ties to me now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Are we done here? I have some things that I need to get back to, and I can see that you have nothing left to say to me that I care to hear. Bye.
Wait a second. What the heck am I going to do? Jack? Hey.
What do you want? What could you possibly want with me now?
Hey, do you know where your sister ran off to?
Huh? Why are you asking me where she's gone? All I know about her is that her husband and her moved back closer to his hometown because there would he be closer to his job.
Huh? They moved even further away. That town is almost 4 hours away from here.
Before those two even got married, they were talking about how before they even had a kid, they'd move back into his hometown where he'd be closer to his job and be in a better place to raise the kids. The only reason why he was working around here for a little while in the first place is because the company he works for is owned by his dad, and he was asked to start helping with the starting of a new office in town. But they agreed that once his wife became pregnant, he could go back to his old office closer to his hometown and have his kid there.
What?
And it's getting pretty close to the due date for that baby, so they decided to move back to his hometown before she had the baby and is all tired out.
Well, why did I never hear anything about this from them?
It's because you're a reckless woman, so we all decided to keep their move a secret from you so you couldn't do anything crazy to them.
Huh? I'm reckless?
You made a huge deal about having me give up on my penthouse and handing it over to my sister so that her and her husband could have their baby there and you could live there with them as well. They also knew about how I bought this place before my divorce and that you were the reason my wife ended up leaving me. And if all that wasn't enough, you were causing a crap ton of stress for her by always trying to control everything she planned to do with the baby, as though it was gonna be your baby somehow. Well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of reasons that began to pile up, and that's why they both chose to move out of town without telling you.
What the heck? Does she not want me around to help her in raising her baby when it's born? Did she forget who raised her to become the perfect woman she is now?
And as far as we're concerned, it was Dad that raised the both of us into the people we are now.
Huh?
Dad was the one making the money in the house for all of us to live on, and he was also the one that did the most cooking and cleaning in the house. You were a housewife, but you ended up slacking off quite a lot.
Wait a second.
Also, it's been 2 years now since you left the house to live on your own away from Dad because you didn't want him to listen to you asking all the time to do the chores, right? Well, he's told me that he plans to divorce you now since you're never going back to him.
But if he leaves me, how am I going to make any money?
No, I'm not, because you told me you'd disown me and cut ties with me.
But you are my son, so you should be able to do something about this, please.
I think we're pretty much done here, right? I'm a very busy man now, and I got things I gotta get back to. Can you make sure to never talk to me again?
Jack!
Now I'm gonna get back to work. Goodbye forever. After her and I had our final conversation, my mom came running back to my penthouse door and continued to hang around it for hours and hours. But after a while of hearing her constant knocking around my penthouse door and the building itself, others in the building began to become suspicious of her and called the police on her. They came just at the time I wasn't around, so she couldn't get me to come and help her, meaning the police put her in their car and drove her to the nearest station. After she was let out of the police station the following day, she proceeded to start heading back to the building my penthouse was in, only to be stopped by my dad, who told her that he heard about everything and would be sending her to my older brother's business outside the state. There she would work for him and make some money to support herself, while also being too far away to do anything about me and the rest of my family. Her brother operates a logging business, so the location she'll be working at is far in the mountains and forests, where it takes almost a day to get to by buggy or truck. So because of her being so remote, I can feel a sense of relief knowing she'll never make it back here again. And of course, this meant that Dad was able to divorce her as well. And now she's lost pretty much everything in her immediate family, and she'll begin to make a new family out there in the middle of nowhere cutting wood all day with all those other loggers. And I'm sure that unlike us, those loggers won't even let her get away with a second of that reckless attitude she had with us.